It says we're on. It's the first and most important part of a of a live stream is making sure that everything is actually functioning. So I'm gonna cut that out. All right, so welcome to Over the Line Reviews. This is kind of a interesting idea that we're going to try. I've seen plenty of whiskey reviews, beer reviews, all kinds of other stuff, but it's always, or at least the ones that I've found, are all videos. So they put a video up and then they post it later. But whenever we watch something like Bar Rescue, they always talk about bars and places like that being community gathering places, and nobody really likes drinking by themselves. And so the idea behind this is that we can try this stuff. When I schedule the live streams, I will, go on ahead and say this is what we're having, and then we'll do something later. And about a week later, we'll have the review video. But that gives you time to go out and find this stuff so that you can sit down and drink it together with us, and we can kind of drink together, and you can put your comments in here. Obviously, getting started, there's not going to be a whole ton of people watching live, so this is going to be more episodic to begin with, at least for if you're finding this later. And so this is kind of how it's going to go. Now, we are trying today, we are doing, where the bottle went? I think I left the bottle over there. Grab that. We are going to be doing Johnnie Walker Black Label. It's one of my favorite scotches. It's not super, it's not a hipster scotch. It's not a, it's kind of like the Jack Daniels of scotch. It's pretty popular and not terribly expensive. So, but it's just got a good solid flavor. So I really like that stuff. So we're going to be trying that a couple different ways. Yeah. She's already making the faces because she knows exactly what's going to happen. She's not a big whiskey drinker, especially not straight. And she's not a big beer drinker either, and especially not for the stuff we're going to be trying. So we have one scotch. Yeah, she's got chips, and that's the idea behind the chaser here too. So this is Smirnoff sourced strawberry kiwi wine cooler. So if you have a significant other, or maybe you have a friend or something that's not really into this stuff, or they're trying something new, this is a way to have something where she can kind of cleanse the yuck out of her mouth, which I think it's all fantastic. I mean, I might need something to cleanse this yuck out of my mouth, but we also have.
Get you some of that cheese.
Yeah, that cheese that tasted like soap. That was awesome. We have monks.
You're lucky I'm doing this after that cheese.
Yeah. Man, it was so good. It was totally worth it. If anybody can't hear us, by the way, just let us know. Hopefully this all should be set up fine. But we are also doing Monk's Cafe Flemish Sour Ale. I know it's starting to get cold, and so the next episode we're going to do some stouts. I'm going to find some great and interesting stouts, and she's going to love those as well. But I am a really big fan of sours, and so I will still be drinking sours all winter long. And I've actually had one of these, and this is interesting because I normally like all sours, and this has got some different flavor to it that I'm not entirely sure about. This, on the other hand, is magnificent. This is Boulevard's Smooth Fuzz Apricot Sour Ale. For my money, New Belgium and Boulevard make the best sours. New Belgium, of course, has the famous La Folie that is amazing every year. Boulevard makes Love Child. They also make one that I really like called Changeling, which is a dark sour ale. Smooth Fuzz kind of reminds me of Changeling, but of course with the
brewery,
Apricot
not the
to it.
brewery place, but the liquor store. When I got you that the last one, they said that they were actually releasing a new sour. I don't remember what it was called though.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fantastic though because it's Boulevard. So I used
to like finding you interesting things. I don't know that I want to find you interesting things anymore.
Yeah. You're going to be drinking all the interesting things.
No, that's how I'm getting stuck with this.
Yeah, I also know it's not St. Patrick's Day, but I saw it in the closet and it was funny. So. Now, we're also going to be going to a site called Beer Advocate to find out what kind of nonsense and poppycock that people put up there about wood notes and nutty and whatever else. And this is also hopefully going to be an education because I like drinking stuff. I'm not entirely sure that I've got the right glasses for the beers we're going to have. I'm not entirely sure that we're drinking the Scotch the right way. But I just happen to have some family that is in the craft beer business, so hopefully I can get them on here sometime to help educate us on what, how we're drinking. I mean, you wouldn't think that there's a way to drink beer wrong, but apparently there is. So I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. Well, definitely pouring it. What we're going to do first, though, is we're going to do the Scotch because I actually like. We're going to do the Smooth Fuzz last because I actually like it just a little bit warmer. It brings out some of the different tastes. That one, there's some beer that you like to drink cold. This is one that I like just 10 or 15 minutes out of the fridge. This one I'm not sure I like at any temperature, but we're still going to do it.
Get it out of the way then.
No, we're going to do this because I have an ice ball here, so I at least have a rocks glass. I have it in an ice ball, and I did a little bit of researching on how you should drink Scotch, and of course they say there's no wrong way to drink Scotch as long as it tastes good to you. But there are a couple different ways that they recommend that bring out some different flavors. So I've got it a couple ways. I've got it with an ice ball. Now the good thing about an ice ball is it melts more slowly. If you put just ice in there, it's going to dilute it a whole lot more quickly. So the good thing behind an ice ball is it will melt more slowly. It will dilute it just a little bit, and they say that adding water can bring out some of the flavor, some of the notes to it too. Now, if you'd like drinking it cold and neat, is the way that they call this. You can get marble. They have stones. They have actually drinking stones that you just freeze the stones, and that way the whiskey will be cold, but you're not diluting it by the ice ball melting.
Star Wars thing.
Yeah. It is also a Death Star ice ball, so I have a mold that's of the Death Star. So I have a Death Star ice cube.
Because Luke.
Mr. Bill sent us some Rocky Mountain Oyster Stout. Well, I like oysters and I like stouts, but I don't know about oysters and stouts.
We did try the Denver thing.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah. So I have this couple different ways, and I just have it room temperature and just right out of the glass. So we're going to see if we can taste any kind of difference between chilled and a little bit of dilution versus just straight out the bottle. So, okay, you don't actually want to take a drink of this. You kind of want to let it touch your lips and stick your tongue in it. And
so like cough syrup.
Yeah, something like that. Your turn.
Yeah, aren't you going to say something?
Huh?
Aren't you going to say something?
Not yet. I'm going to let you taste it and we're going to talk about it.
You haven't opened my thing.
Oh, okay. Well, we probably better do that.
You got yourself already. Where's mine? Yeah. See how you are.
All right. So I wouldn't take a drink of that. Just kind of let.
I don't plan on it.
Yeah. I mean, I like taking a little drink of it.
Can I do this? This is rude.
Sure. I don't know. Probably masking the flavors if you do that, because part of it's the sensory from the nose sniffing.
Yeah, I don't know that I want.
Part of it's the scent. So.
Oh God, I hate you. Yeah, cough.
Yeah. No, the thing I like about Oh, that's outstanding. I don't know what you're talking about.
My God.
The thing I like about this is kind of how charcoaly it is. And I'm sure that I'm going to have plenty of hipsters on here telling me that I'm tasting wrong things, but there's plenty of hipsters online that taste wrong things as far as I'm concerned. Oh my God. I don't know what they're actually tasting. But I do like how charcoaly it is, and I told her before that the more woody my whiskey tastes, the better I like it. So I like a lot, when it comes to beer, I like a lot of barrel-aged stouts and stuff like that. Or some of the sours that are aged in like a wine barrel or something. I just like that woody, barrely flavor to it. And this is kind of, like I said, this is, Johnnie Walker Black Label is kind of like the I believe this is aged 12 years as well. So yeah, this is aged 12 years. Distilled, blended, bottled in Scotland. Blended Scotch whiskey. Like I said, for me, it's kind of like the Jack Daniels of Scotch, and that's not a knock against it at all because Jack Daniels is a really solid whiskey. It's not, again, it's not hipsterish. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. It's not the hipster pick. It's not super expensive, but it's just solid, great tasting. You know, when I think of Scotch, this is kind of what I compare everything to, because if I spend $80 or $100 on a bottle of Scotch and it's not better than my $40 bottle of Black Label, well, then it's probably not worth $80 or $100.
No.
But this has got, this is, like I said, this has got this nice charcoaly, pretty firmly charcoaly taste to it.
Oh, firm, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just love the, and I wouldn't say it's burnt. It's almost charred, like a charred charcoal. And that's the thing. Yeah, when you sniff it, you're supposed to smell it first. You're supposed to.
If I would have smelled it, I wouldn't have drank it.
Yeah, I probably should have swirled it around a little bit.
Oh, bad.
But now that we've had time to let this sit in the water and the ice ball here, we're gonna take a little taste and see what we notice that's different.
Maybe like an hour, so it's worth it.
Okay.
Is it different, do you think?
Not terribly different for me. But it's a little bit easier. It doesn't hit you as hard. You get the flavors of it without getting kind of the sting of just the...
Yeah, I can face it.
Just plain...
But I kind of knew what to expect, so.
Yeah. But...
I have done like Jack and Coke or Jack and Pepsi or whatever.
Yeah, and that's another thing is I really like this when I go to mix it. If I mix it in Coke or Pepsi or whatever else, sometimes like Crown can get kind of lost because it's so smooth and so subtle, and so Crown is better, I think, to drink neat or plain or on the rocks or whatever you want to call it. But I think that this is a whole lot better to mix because the flavors are a lot more assertive, and so you get that flavor of the Scotch in along with the mixer. And I think that even just drinking it with a little bit of water or with the ice ball in here, you get the same kind of flavor, but it's a little bit more palatable than just the straight stuff here. So we're just going to go on ahead and do that. That's going to go in there. We're just going to let that sit. Marinate for a little while. So let me find out. We're going to go on here and we're going to see what they say online about and basically what I missed, because this was incredibly simple. So I'm going to see. All right, so we're going to go to Johnnie Walker Black Label review. We're going to see what the whiskey wash. That was the first review, so let's go to that. So this is the Whiskey Wash, and we're looking at their review of Johnnie Walker Black Label. And so I'm going to see what other things that they're tasting. So tasting notes, let's see. Appearance, caramel, burnt sugars, medium legs. I don't know what medium legs means, but it is very caramely and kind of burnt sugar.
And I don't like caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say caramel and you say caramel.
Yeah. Nose, so that's basically the smell. Charred oak, peat smoke, toffee, candy, pecan rolls, over-ripened grapes. Let me check that out. Definitely get the charred oak. Like I said, the char was the thing that I got first, and I really like that flavor. I don't know what peat smoke smells like. Toffee candy, not so much. Pecan rolls, over-ripened grapes. Vanilla butter. Okay, so the palate or the taste: vanilla butterscotch candy, peat smoke, glazed pecans. I don't know that I'm getting that much sweetness. Like either one, I taste more the char. The finish: good amount of smoke without being overpowering. Yes, definitely agree with that. That's amazing because I like the smoky, charred, really woody taste of it. Medium burn, tapering towards the end to some nice nutty and sweet notes mingling with the lingering peat. I don't know what peat tastes like, so.
Maybe
One more taste.
No.
Okay.
You didn't pay me enough for this.
Okay.
I agreed to
So
one.
on that taste with, yeah, you can only ask for so much. Now on that taste, now that I look and see this, I did get kind of some of the candy-ish taste kind of on the back. I don't know if that's with, that has something to do with the water or the ice. I think just neat, plain room temperature by itself. I think that like I said, the initial sting and the kind of charry, smoky taste really takes over. But when you put some water in it, they do say it kind of unlocks a few of the flavors, and I did get a little bit more candy type. I'm not sure about the glazed pecans, but the butterscotch candy I can see. So
Really? I can't. I
yeah.
Actually, no.
Well, tasting it again after reading what they said, I can kind of notice that. So
Okay.
I must need to train my palate, I guess.
Maybe try it the other way. Maybe read the review on this first, and then take the drink, since you've already.
No, I'd like to do it because I want to see what I notice first, and then see what
Okay.
see what the brains notice next. So,
Oh, okay.
let's see. They gave it a score of 83 out of 100. Says, while this is far from being my favorite whiskey, the fact of the matter is that a bottle of Johnnie Walker Black Label has a tendency to empty more quickly than virtually any other single bottle of whiskey in my possession. It makes for a terrific opener to an evening of more intense Islay malts, but it also serves as a perfectly suitable standalone drink. It's balanced remarkably well, which speaks to the value of competent blending. It's also a great ambassador for introducing newcomers to the world of smoky and peaty whiskeys at a price point which won't make one cry should they immediately dump their Glencairn glass as a first taste. Great value for the money. I would agree with that. And like I said, for me, it's like the Jack Daniels of Scotch. It's just a great, solid, go for it. It's going to give you the taste that you're kind of after and wanting. And it's reasonably priced. And it's something that you can just grab and go drink. It's not one of those things where you want to sit down and really enjoy a crazy, crazy good, complex Scotch, but at the same time, it's one that you, like he says, that's the one that you want to go for because it's just what you want, what you need. So, 83 out of 100. I'd probably rank it a little bit higher than that, but I wouldn't say that that's unfair. I'd say that I tend to rank things a little too highly anyway. So, so that's going to be the Johnnie Walker Black Label, and we're going to go on and we're going to get into the beer now. And again, I'm pretty sure I've got the wrong glasses, but what does peat taste like? Oh, okay. What does peaty mean? Mossy accumulation of that's. I haven't eaten mossy accumulations.
Just.
All right. All right, so we're going to move on to the Monk's Cafe Flemish Sour Ale. I have here a glass. I got a beer glass set once upon a time. I don't know the difference between beer glasses, really, but I'm glad that I spend time at places that do. The value of a beer glass is supposed to enhance certain flavors, enhance smells if something's a little bit more nosy. That's definitely the wrong word. No. The smell plays into the taste a whole lot more, and so the glasses are designed to help you taste the beer the best, whether you want to be more nose forward or whether you want it to be more taste. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pour this. This is a rather delightful color. I really do like the color. It's kind of dark and rich. Almost looks like I'm pouring myself a root beer. So it's got a nice little head on there, not too much, but yeah, this is very, very delightful. I like sour things in general, so it's not any certain flavor that I'm looking for beyond just really liking sour, puckering, funky. Not as much on the funk, but I really like just very sour stuff. Now, I've already had one of these because I kind of wanted to get an idea of what I was in for. And it's got some weird flavor on the back end that I really can't describe. So I'm going to take a drink of this. Actually, I need to smell it first. It's kind of grapey. It smells grapey, and I can get just a little bit of funk to it. And funk is not necessarily a bad thing. You'd think you're saying funk, it's like, oh, that's going to be nasty, but it kind of it's almost more like an aging thing. Like when you have aged cheese, it has that different kind of taste to it. So it's not a bad thing. It's just more a strength of flavor. And that's probably definitely not what funky means. So I'm sure I totally explained that wrong. But so yeah, it's kind of grapey, kind of funky is what I'm getting just on the sniff. And it is grapey when I get it, and then there's some, I think it's vinegary. I think that's what I don't like about this, is that it's a vinegar finish, and I'm not a big fan of vinegar at all.
Should I get you a pickle?
Yeah, God.
Maybe
Okay.
that can be the trade-off.
Oh, no. No.
Why?
Man.
After like 100 of these, I can't make you eat a pickle?
We might make that a special episode. Because that's rough. I'm going to need a chaser for that. All right, so take a sniff of it first and see what you think.
How about I sniff after?
Huh? Well, you have to sniff first. You have to swirl the glass around, then you have to sniff it like the guy did at Central Standard the
I agreed to
other.
taste this and make faces.
Well, yeah, but we're trying to educate you on the.
I don't want to be educated.
All right.
I did not agree to the education.
Do what you do.
I agreed to taste things and make faces.
Yeah, but that one for me is pretty grapey and pretty vinegary. So you get grapes right away, and then it's got that vinegar finish.
It is, yeah. I know why that. Yeah, that's exactly why you hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I love sour stuff, and the vast majority of sour stuff I have like this.
I think this might be the only sour that I can drink.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, no, that's actually pretty cool. But
since you hate it, of course I will.
Yeah, of course you're gonna like it. We have this thing where, it doesn't matter what it is. If she likes it, I don't. If I like it, she doesn't. So
there's a few.
Yeah, there's a few things that.
Which, if that's the thing,
that
it's like hit the all-in button.
All right, so we're on Beer Advocate, and I did look this up the other day. I'm pretty sure. Monk's Cafe Flemish Sour Ale. So that's what we're going to look for. They've got it. The score is 87 out of 100, which I would say that for people that like that flavor, it's grapey and it's vinegary, and I think if you actually like that, it tastes pretty good. The flavor is good because the vinegar is there, but it's not assertive or like overpowering. And the grape, you get the flavor of the grapes without like the sweetness.
I'm not a grape fan. I don't like grapes at all.
So yeah, you get the grape flavor without the kind of overpowering sweetness, and you get a little bit of tart there. So she normally puckers up pretty bad. Mm-hmm. The pucker isn't crazy on this by any means.
No.
So I would say that from a quality standpoint, it's very well balanced. You get flavors without getting any one thing overpowering the other or getting too much of something. So
I wouldn't order it, but I mean.
Yeah. So Beer Advocate has it 87 out of 100, which is a very good score. Most of the stuff I like I imagine the Smooth Fuzz. To me, this is a 95, and that's about as high as I'm going to go. Lafali would probably be 97, 98. That Changeling is going to be in the mid to upper 90s, too, for me. So let's see what some of this... Oh, okay. So here's one right here. It says, this reminds me of a root beer. Pours a dark brown, almost black, with a head that would resemble a root beer from the tap. Yeah, it's not quite as much as a root beer, but close. Nose is definitely tart with an almost vinegary aroma. Yeah, I get that. Taste is initially slightly vinegary, which quickly turns to a cherry delight. I'm not sure I get the cherry.
But if vinegar is not, it's kind of like trying to wash it out of your mouth. You
Yeah,
get rid of it.
Yeah, because if I'm going to taste the vinegar because I don't like vinegar, and so that's the first thing, and that's the last thing that I'm going to taste. That's going to overpower any other taste that's in there. Here's another one. I like this better than Rodenbach discovered at Wegmans tasting. Pours a balsamic vinegar-colored body with a tan foamy head that laces madly and densely while retaining a cap. Okay. Offers that vinegar cherry malt flavor expected in lambics, a bit of funk, basement cave. Begins with tart fruits, cherry and fermented blackberry. So that could be the grape taste that I'm getting. I still get more of a grape. I'm not. I mean, the blackberry could be there with balancing sour bitterness, wine-like and complex. It is kind of wine-like. I will say that. Now that they mentioned something about wine, maybe it's not the grape. Maybe I'm getting kind of a winey taste to it. And complex, a sipper. So yeah, I wouldn't drink this. I would sip this and kind of let it, wash over my tongue and inside of my mouth and kind of get the flavors instead of taking a big gulp of it or something.
Not a chugging beer.
No. There's an extra layer in every sip, lean yet complex, dry, smoothing, cleansy, yet wine-like. Solid beer, taste of cherry with good sweetness, medium mouthfeel, medium carbonation, good amount of sweetness and overall pleasure. Yeah, everybody's getting cherries. And I'm not so much getting cherries. I'm getting more of the grapes. A little bit bigger grain. I think it's just the vinegar. And again, reading some of this stuff, I don't hate this as much as I did when I had the first can, because I'm opening it thinking sour. I love sour, and I taste this, and it's like, oh my God, I don't know what that taste is, but I hate it. And so it's just the way that it finishes that I don't like. But I do respect, having tried it, and probably in the wrong glass. But, that's where you can get on and yell at me in the comments section. So definitely do that. Because at the same time, because I do like drinking stuff, I am rather ignorant about all of this. And so when you have, there's a good blend. It's nice to have a good blend when you're reviewing something of somebody who really knows what they're talking about, and just the general consumer who's going to open a can and they're going to take a drink, and maybe they don't like it, but I do like this and respect it quite a bit more now that I've actually sat down, given it a proper tasting, instead of just opening the one can and saying, oh my God, that's terrible, throw the rest of them out, give them away, whatever. I do like this more and respect it a little bit more, reading up on it and actually giving it a fair shot. And so I will probably drink the rest of I still don't like the vinegar taste, but I will probably drink the rest of them because it is very well balanced. It does have a nice flavor to it without being offensive or overwhelming one way or the other. Everything kind of works together. So I would say that even though this is not my cup of tea, it's a pretty good cup of tea, or cup of beer at least. So yeah, that's there seems to be a common consensus. Most of the user ratings here.
Sour goes in there.
Okay, so it's close. I like this glass, this short, fat round. I think that this is a stout glass. That's the thing. I'm pretty sure that this is a stout glass, but we're going to drink this in it anyway. I actually like this better out of the bottle for some reason. I like to be...
So would you call it like that?
Yeah, a snifter. Yeah, so it's more of a snifter. It's brandy snifter. So yeah, we're definitely going to be drinking this next one out of the wrong glass. But for this one, the flavor is so strong and so assertive that I like just the flavor smacking me, kind of. It's not offensive. It's just got such big, bold flavors, and I want all of that to hit me all at the same time and just kind of be overwhelmed by it instead of having, the kind of a sniff in there. So I am going to have a few sips out of the bottle and have a few sniffs out of the sips out of the glass and see what we're doing there. But Monk's Cafe Flemish Sour Ale, I can't personally recommend it because I don't like the vinegary taste. But if you do appreciate, if you like sours and you want, this is different too. Because when I go for sours, I haven't tasted another sour like this. So it's a different flavor. Like I said, a little vinegary, a little winey, but pretty well balanced. There's pretty good possibility if you like pickled things or you like that vinegary flavor that I pretty well guarantee that you'll like this. If you like,
I like pickles.
Yeah. So if you like that stuff,
that's probably why I'm okay with this.
And if you like sour, and the fact that it's beer and it's sour and that she likes it probably says more than than
not
anything.
liking it.
Yeah. If she actually likes it, that's good news. So you should probably go try it. Once again, this is Monk's Cafe Flemish Sour Ale. I don't know how well you can see that or not, but that's kind of what it looks like. So now we're going to move to the tour de force here, the one that I've really been wanting to get to. And I tell you what, the toughest part of doing this whole thing is going to be having this stuff in the fridge for a solid week and not being able to drink it. It's going to be, I'm just going to stare at it every time I open the fridge. Few notes here before we move on. The ABV, or the alcohol content, is 5.5. There are some other notes. I don't know if it has IBUs on there. It's not going to have very high IBUs. Probably they won't even put it on the can because when you're drinking a sour beer, you're not thinking IBUs at all. So I think I'm not going to try to. I'm going to let my brother explain all that stuff, or my sister-in-law. Explain IBUs and all that stuff to make sure that they say it right. So actually, we can take that off of there.
Yeah.
Need a bigger table. All right, so this is absolutely the wrong one, but this is a snifter, and this has some pretty impressive sniffs. So this might help us in the sniffing category. So this, I know all about this because I've had several of these. It does remind me of Changeling, like I said, which is a dark sour ale. Once again, Boulevard and New Belgium make my favorite sours. I think this strain of, I think New Belgium has the same. Let me see here. This complex beer is a melange of Belgian-style ales aged in oak barrels and foeders for up to 36 months. Tart and funky, smooth fuzz rested on whole apricots prior to bottling to infuse juicy stone flavors, which mingle with the mixed fermentation character provided by our house Lactobacillus and Brettanomyces cultures. So, I think somewhere that New Belgium's had the same base culture for like 100 years or something crazy like that, and so I just really like the flavor that we get out of these. Bark, 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 bark.
There's our dogs, if you can hear.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll feature them sometime. Pop. Oh, yeah. A little smoky.
A little bit.
A little smoky. All right, so get that up. This stuff is, I'm just so excited here.
Just not
This
much because you're going to want
pours,
to put the bottle back in the fridge to save some.
Out of the way. Now, this definitely, while this pours, you definitely see the apricot-y. I mean, this is...
You're going to save some for tomorrow. You're here tomorrow.
That's not... Oh, man. So, yeah, this is very apricot. There's no head on this at all. I kind of poured it sideways. I didn't finish. But this isn't going to have a head on it anyway. I don't think I've ever... Now, like I said, I like drinking it out of the bottle. But this is very... I mean, the first thing you think of when you look at that, I think apricots. That just looks like apricots. And that's
it looks like it would be a fruity beer.
Yeah, that's a... You definitely get the sour. There's not really any funk there, but it's definitely very sour, very fruity. I can smell a little bit of the apricot, but I smell something else, and it's just such a combination of flavors. It's just all kinds of fruit all together just hits me.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember your first impression when you drank it? Like what you noticed immediately when you drank it first?
The sour, the pucker is the first thing that'll get you. And it's interesting the way that it goes down where you taste different flavors. I get a little bit of the apricot, and then it tastes kind of... I don't know. I'm gonna have to go to this and see what I'm tasting. But the pucker will hit you first of all. So it's a sour thing, but it's good. It's not like it clenches up. That sour that kind of clenches up your muscles down here.
Like you were a warhead when you were like in second grade.
It won't do that, but you get that, and you get the pucker, you get the apricot, and then it's just fruit. Just fruit. Yeah, too much. Yeah.
It actually
yeah.
wasn't bad. It was just when it hit.
Yeah.
It was almost like a burn. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional or if that was just a...
No, I think you drank too much.
Okay. That was not good.
This is more of a sipper because the flavor is so assertive and it's so sour and puckering.
So actually, I don't dislike it, but it's not one of those... You know, like when we go to Norseman and I order a shandy or something, like, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something I would order.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll redo.
There's smaller sip, almost more like the whiskey or the Scotch there. And just the flavor just kind of booms. And it's pucker, and then it's apricot, and then it's just fruit.
Yeah, and actually, I'm not...
I can't really tell you what it is, but let's see. Let's go to Beer Advocate, pull up Smooth Fuzz.
I'm not huge on the apricot. Like, I don't dislike the sour part, but I'm not huge.
Huh.
And it's just because it's apricot, I think. I'm just not a...
Well, they haven't ranked it. Beer Advocate has a score of NA. Now, the average user score is almost 4, 3.95. All right, poured out a clear golden amber color with very small white head of foam. It smelled of tart apricot, lemon, and caramel. Maybe. Wow, this was sour. Some apricot sweetness, but mostly sour. Pours orange with a modest level, and this is the only other. Pours orange with a modest level of particle suspension, creating a hazy look. Yeah, it does. It does kind of have a hazy look.
Yep.
Head is a finger in height. I didn't have any head on that, but at the same time, I didn't really pour it right. So.
And you probably have an wrong glass.
Aroma, yeah, definitely. Aroma's a fleshy apricot with a tart finish. Flavor profile welcomes a more sour delivery with soft, ripe apricots up front before a lactic, sour hit that strips any lingering tropical fruit notes from the tongue. Mouthfeel is effervescent with a crispness that's near sharp, has a medium thickness. Overall, big apricot within a pucker-inducing sour package. So, those are the only 2 reviews there, and that didn't really help me out a whole lot. So. We're going to go to Boulevard, Smooth, Fuzz, Review. Untapped.
Those are usually...
Yeah. Untapped, let's see. That's one of my brother's favorite sites. So yeah, that's not going to be helpful at all.
Why don't you see what Boulevard says about it itself?
Yeah. It could be the most interesting. Yes, I'm over 21 last time I checked.
Maybe that's what we should have done first. We should have showed our IDs to show we were legal.
Yeah. Okay, so I already read that. Let's see what they got. Tasting notes.
There you go.
Juicy. The aroma is juicy apricot, definitely. Lemony acidity. I could probably go with that. Subtle earthy funk and oak. Check that out again. I don't know about the funk. Maybe I think it's just the sour note kind of is a little. I wouldn't say it's overpowering, but it's assertive. I don't really get the oak, the malt, minimal, slight honey sweetness, balanced fruit acidity. It is pretty acidic, so.
Yeah, I think that's what hit me.
Yeah, it's a really like I said, it's a really strong assertive flavor, and that's why I like it straight out of the bottle, because it just, instead of getting the sniff part of it right up front, everything is just like if I take a swig out of the bottle here. Huh. Actually does.
Starting to change a little bit.
It's different because you're not really smelling at first. It's all taste. But this, when you inhale a little bit, you get kind of prepared a little bit more for it. So it's a little sharper out of the bottle. When you get the sniff of it while you're drinking it, it makes it a little bit more subtle, and you taste more of you taste more of the flavors in that, or if you just drink it straight out the bottle, it's more sour. And I guess I really like that sour puckering. I'm not so much into, especially with the smooth fuzz, the changeling, La Folly, stuff like that. I really like. It's got the same feel to me, or the same basic idea, and I really like, sour and then flavors everywhere. This more gets you kind of into the individual flavors. So it's sour, is a little acidic. I could go along with the lemony thing. And definitely apricot.
Yeah, lots.
So Boulevard doesn't have a whole lot to say about it. Let's go to Rate Beer. Rate Beer is another good one. That's most of the time when I go into a brewery, or no, not a brewery, but there we go.
Finding new stuff.
Yep.
If it's worth spending $10 to $20 on.
Yep. Let's see. This beer is good from start to finish. I like a well-made tart beer, and this is it. Yeah, it's definitely very tart, and that's something I really, really like. So good as far as mildly sour goes. It probably should be listed as an unblended lambic. Slight haze on pale. Smell is sweet and wild-like. Quite yummy fun. This must be a lambic. I'm talking fruited either. Darn, it's all gone already. Okay.
What is lambic?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look. That's more of a fruit, a fruity type beer. So you can look that up. Most of the time, it's not quite as high on the alcohol content, which this is 7.2. It says 8 IBUs, but once again, when you're looking at sours, you're not thinking hops, bitterness, any of that stuff.
Okay.
That doesn't help.
Oh, it just looks like the
Yeah,
location.
it's just-
like
yeah,
it's
it's a
being
type of
Scottish
beer.
or type being to.
Aromas, apricot, funk, lactobacillus, sweet tarts, vanilla, wood, pours hazy, peach, golden. Taste is highly sour, 10 out of 10, and acidic with flavors like the aroma, finishing dry. Yeah, I will agree with that. You get a little bit of almost like apple cider dry, or it's almost, I would say that apple cider woodchuck.
No, that's probably, cider-y. But it sour more on the side of sour versus cider. But I can see a little.
It's more sour, but it's kind of
cider twinge.
Yeah, it's kind of cidery in the finish.
Which I like ciders.
Mm-hmm. Highly carbonated, near champagne level. Yes, it is very carbonated. I do notice a big difference between that and the Monk's Cafe. This is a lot more carbonated, and that just kind of near champagne level foamy mouthfeel. Which that's another thing that's kind of interesting. Which I like about it. There's a brewery in Wichita called Central Standard Brewing, and it's the mouthfeel, and you notice that it's not something that you think about too much when you're drinking a beer. You're thinking more flavors and stuff, but their mouthfeel is just amazing, and it's hard to describe, which I'm sure that my brother can do a lot better job with that too, but if it's tasty, I drink it. But yeah, so definitely apricot-y, definitely sour, definitely champagne-y, like they say with the carbonation. And that just gives you that extra punch to really drive home its big bold flavors, and the carbonation goes with the sour and just kind of takes it all over the top. But it does, the taste, it does taste like it smells, and it does finish kind of dry like a cider or like a cider beer. Highly carb, so I would agree with that. That's a pretty good review there. Juicy tart and sour fruit notes with an oaky note and a bit of earthiness underlying. I don't know about that. You'd have to have flavor has sour-like fruits and a hint of acid with an oak note backing. I don't know that I get any of that. I think it's just so the fruit, the sour, everything is so assertive and over the top that subtle flavors, I think, would get lost in here, or you'd almost have to be reaching or looking or trying a little too hard to find something that I'm not entirely sure is there. But that is outstanding. So glad I have most of the bottle left. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up. We don't want these to be too long. Probably already been a whole lot longer than I've wanted it to be already. But these are supposed to be fun. We're going to have a few of these just to have a little bit of fun and drink together and talk about some stuff. So if you are interested or like what we do or don't like what we do and want to heckle us, that's fine too. Or, save us from our ignorance here or watch her make faces or whatever. But we will have a bunch more fun stuff. I travel the state for my job, and we come across a lot of really great breweries. My brother and sister-in-law are a couple of owners of Norseman Brewing Company here in Topeka, Kansas, which has become kind of a beer destination, a craft beer destination over the last couple of years. We've got a lot of great places here.
What are we up to, like 5 craft breweries?
Yeah, I think we're up to 5 or maybe even 6 now with that Turbo Tap place that kind of opened, or that
that's right.
Tap This or something like that.
Well, there's one place that's
Tap
actually there's one of them that they're not brewing their own, but they're taking like all the breweries around town. They have them all, but they're not making any of their own.
Yeah, I think that's the Tap House or whatever. They've got a bunch of taps on there and
just supporting the local breweries as opposed to doing their own.
Yeah. And Blind Tiger has been around for a while. If you are into craft beer, you've probably heard of Blind Tiger. We got Happy Bassett, we've got Iron Rail. Once again, we've got Norseman Brewing Company, and then we've got the Tap House or Tap This or something like that. I'm not sure. It's pretty new, but anyway, that's going to wrap it up. Hope you enjoy this. Next time we schedule something, like I said, I'm going to do some stouts, but I'll put it up there a week in advance so that you'll have time to go find some of this stuff and then drink it with us. We're going to have a chaser for her. That's really tasty because it's more, it's not like sugary, fruity. It tastes like the fruit.
Well, as I say,
it's made with real fruit juice. It tastes like actual strawberries and kiwis, not strawberry and kiwi sugar flavoring.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually tastes like...
I might use this for a while.
Yeah, strawberries and kiwis. So, and there's plenty of other stuff that she likes too, but that might be a mainstay because that really is pretty tasty. But anyway, thanks for joining us. There's a lot of stuff here now that I have to finish. But anyway, this was fun. If you're seeing this as an episode, which I imagine most of you will be, this is kind of how it's going to be, but we are going to travel around to a bunch of different breweries. I am going to have my brother on here as much as I can get him on here, and anybody else that really likes just drinking beer and telling me I'm wrong. And so my brother will be able to explain some of the brewery process, should be able to get a tour in there. Maybe we can do some destination stuff and live stream from maybe Blind Tiger, Norseman, Central Standard down in Wichita, which I really like. LB Brewing Company out in Hays, Kansas is also outstanding.
Stands for
Liquid Bread. They're amazing, and so there's just a lot of great places to get to. So without any more rambling, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, favorite, subscribe, all that good nonsense, and we will see you on the next one.